Say, well done. When the money started, I want to be very practical because I did it from the beginning to the end. I started losing weight, maybe 500 grams every day. I was very practical. So I'm losing weight. And I need to acknowledge this young man. He was the vice president of US. They gave us one order on zinc to, I think, the whole public health, John Snow, public health, on zinc. Just before we entered that program, and it was a lot of money, I was happy. So when I go for board meeting, of course, I have to wear a good jacket there. But there was an interview, and I was not getting anything again. And now I have the chairman coming from Germany, I said, Steve, let me not go to the I went, it was not easy. But I'm sure she was here, so she had an idea. He tried himself. He has to be able to give me a cover-up. But I'm telling you that I developed another strategy myself. I started meeting those donor agencies. I knocked at the door of US AID. Fortunately, the office is not far from where I stay when I go to the US. I said, gentlemen, you persuaded us to go into this journey. WHO said, well, we have done all our best to qualify you in the destiny. Our duty is not to give you the money. I said, no, I'm saying something I don't like. I became aggressive. Somebody said, I became an activist. And I said, gentlemen, this is wrong. My company is pursuing me. If I want to hit becomes too much, I'll take it. I said, let me go have a meeting in Copenhagen. From there, I go to US. I said that. But yeah, I was a CEO. Now, and I appreciate and I say it again. And then when I went to the US, I sat down with the guys. So they talked about it. They said, Steve, what you're going to do, you know what to do. Your product hasn't gotten any, like I said, final pre-qualification. I said, no, have the WHO GMP. And two of them, even though they are different, but they're not mutually exclusive. And I said, what do I do to be able to do this? Eventually, I told WHO to go to my factory, ready for the final dossier submission. And I did it. And let me say it here that we got final dossier, we were the first in South Africa to get dossier for especially zinc. They approved it for us. Unfortunately for us, they asked us that they are coming to our factory to do another inspection for the zinc when we're going to do a full clinical trial for palatability studies. And they said, you were the first people to do palatability study at the clinical level as far as zinc is concerned. I said, this is not what we saw. That's another headache. I have to go to the board and say, I need another couple of millions to be able to do this. They say something must be wrong with you. At that time, I was willing to part with my own salary. I'm just saying that openly, just to be able to get to that level. Because I was frustrated. The WHO told Steve, we are coming to your office to do specific analytic inspection in relation to the product itself. And then look at the clinical studies you're going to do. I said, but you told me that nobody had done palatability study at the clinical level. We are the first who started it. And look at the document. You copy from us, not copy. I adopted from us. He said, no. He said, no, anything we're doing at all is we're doing well. They came in. And I went to the hospitals where they were going to do clinical studies, palatability. And what they were telling me was right. I went to all the doctors and said, Steve, we are not familiar with it. So I started training doctors. You see, and training them. What if they were a place, we call it Macy's Children's Hospital. I went to Macy's. I sat down with the pediatrician. I appointed one of them as the principal investigator. We sat down. In fact, early morning to night, work. The next thing you know, they said, go back to our Houston board review for any research. When I went, they said they have not done this one before, but I need to wait for it. 6 months, I was working with him. So eventually, they came and said, look, let me make it in a very lighter mood. that all your clinical research is okay, but we found out that the children who said they didn't have any side effect to treatment, I said there was none in our data. But the average research showing that about 10%. I told the consultant, he come from WHO, he's a friend, he stays in Canada. I said, what you see is just research. We are the one doing practical there. I'm not arguing. They said, well, we are the number one. However, we need to look at it again. By the time they're coming back, I was already packing my load to retire out of chief. I mean, just coincident. But let me also say it to the lighter note, to encourage everybody. If my memory serves me right, I have one of my director, Professor Malaria in Kenya. We had close to $45 to $50 million. Platform for all the people. And we were the first to get that kind of access to money, fund that project within the sub-Africa. From USAID, I don't know the breakdown, UNICEF came to us back again. Instead of relying on the WHO, they conducted their own, audit. We were supplying up to 5-6 countries in Africa with our zinc workers. In fact, one of the greater upsets we had, unfortunately couldn't go through us, when we asked to supply Gaza Strip in Israel, in the country. We said we are going to supply Gaza Strip. For some reasons, because the technicality they didn't supply, apart from getting the PQ, even to supply another country, we go and get another country. So I looked at it and I said, how are we able to get this? When I look at how many $1 million we secured out of this, I look back and said, I need to encourage everybody who want to be a PQ. But before you go to PQ, you need to define whether you want to join them quality league or you want to do it as a business strategy. And very important, as a business strategy, you must keep it in mind. And if you are running a company that you are not the owner, please clarify ownership. The stakeholders, shareholders want the objectives at variance with your own objective, you are likely to go nowhere. So we succeeded in making that amount of money because some of us went beyond the call of duty, knocking at the doors of all donor agencies, trying to do them. And then locally, I went to Federal Ministry of Health again. The DG of NAFDAC dragged me from by his hand. And they told me still, how are we going to specify between local quality and the one of the village? So we cannot. It's going to be difficult. The Director of Primary Health said, you're going to have 2 qualities in Nigeria. One, WHO, the other 2 by NAFDAC. It's a serious one. Eventually, do persuasion by the teacher. Of course, you know the teacher of NAFDAC that led us to this PQ. Try to also disappear because he cannot condemn the quality like NAFDAC. This is a practical, that's why I'm giving you the details. But they looked at it and I said, gentlemen, because of the effort you made, they gave me order. I talked to the federal government. Reasonable amount of money. And I came home, smiling, went to the director, the owner from Germany, he came and saw it, said, this is good. We did the first one, did the second one. The third one, the primary health care called me and said, Steve, I think we need to encourage the other local industries. You have interest. The question is that the price. So PQ is only one process. I mean, getting the quality and the GMP is only one process. You are not going afterwards shift, you also go for issue of price competition. So why I'm mentioning this in detail is that yes, we went through the hurdles and we succeeded, but whether the success was able to mitigate what my owners call loss, that's entirely different thing. But I want to assure you that what I've seen from Blue's public health intervention, it appears to be more branded within the WHO was a generic aspect. That means we just approach the project without knowing where we are going. And that is why mortality, infant mortality, because some of them were just started. before they are dead. So some of us continue to grow until we reach a certain stage, and when I left, and eventually they also collapse. And CH also collapse. What I mentioned just 2 minutes ago. So mortality rate is very high if you are going into that place. Whether you die as an infant, you don't do it, or as an old age or pediatric death, anywhere you are pediatric death. You are going generic. You have identified the product you are going. I want to, those who are going to qualify, please, I want to encourage you. Encourage you to participate fully. I want to see you, but I became a director in production. Now, it's going on. I can speak on PQ, on audit, any part of the world. So I want to encourage you, one of us here. If you want to do it, but don't do it because you want to join people to keep up with the Joneses. Just to be I'm part of this quality. Do it as a business strategy. Business strategy that is sustainable. That's all I can do for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Steve. Pre-qualification brings economic, financial benefits. But what I did not hear from Steve, or the reference he made more was to donor programs, UNICEF, USAID, I didn't hear Global Fund, but some of these private, multilateral and bilateral institutions, I did not hear a mention about the federal government. And that's really where we come, where the rubber hits the road. What is government going to do when all these companies invest so much in achieving pre-qualification? What policies are they going to put in place? How are they going to put their feet down to say, look, now that our companies have demonstrated they can meet these quality standards, we are going to mandate that the funds that have been going to India to procure these medicines will have to now come to Nigeria. Is government ready? Do you have the political will? Do you have the guts? Do you have the moral confidence to say?
Yes, I think because it's a panel discussion. Time. Really long time. That may also come a different time altogether. But we did, and I believe from the Federal Minister of Health is here. We were knocking at the door of the Honorable Minister. And fortunately for me, the Honorable Minister then, so anytime I go, in fact, I was better living in Abuja and the Federal Minister of Health. But you see, the Federal Minister of Health said something, I say something. But don't forget that national primary health care is also Federal Minister of Health. And I did mention that Federal Minister of Health supported us to the primary health care. But that was after the strong persuasion from the DG of NAPDAC. Look, you better say help. The Federal Minister of Health was also very conscious of the fact that if they support us PQ, what about the people that NAPDAC approved without PQ? This is actually what I'm saying. We need to do it from this issue. I was the minister and of procurement, and we all discussed how we're going to do that. And when they brought for Kote and all that, they stood a product that, again, we were about maybe 10% more expensive. It could not justify why you don't have to go back to the what we call the Bureau of Public Procurement to get that exemption. I told them, I brought their attention to the fact that there is a differential pricing for product demand price not afforded. Really reminded me that that differential price is actually for product imported and that produced locally. So at the end of the day, the Federal Ministry of Health tried their best. But I need to say it here that they didn't do enough to support that journey. And I said, I have told the Honorable Minister, they did not do enough, and I am telling them to go to that journey. Please, define it from the beginning where you are taking people. Don't like people waste money without getting it there. But if you want to upgrade their factory because it is necessary, and two, opportunity can come any moment, then you have to go for it. Like I said before that, Bloom is the one who actually doing the best one. You have identified what people need. Select the people, we already have an end in sight. But we went into engineering, business and look at blind. So that's why I'm trying to say that the Federal Ministry of Health did their best, but their best was not good enough to secure us anything. Of course, I need to acknowledge that Federal Ministry of Health also owns National Primary Health Care Development Agency. We got something from them. That was after the past, please go to international market. We went and market. It was not a very easy experience because of that's what.
Thank you very much, Steve. I'm going to make a bold proposal. I'm not Nigerian, so I can make this proposal, because after today you might not see me around. Can the government make a commitment to the pharmaceutical manufacturers of this country to say, if you do all of this investment, if you build capacity to achieve these standards, government will commit ensuring a certain percentage of procurement, donor funds, or Nigerian government money will be spent in this country? Is that a possibility?
Thank you very much. Listening attentively, and I have to say this. Government is doing everything within the capacity to ensure that the pharmaceutical sector is strong. We may all wish to know that there is an import prohibition list in this country, and those products on the import prohibition list cannot be imported. And that is one of the ways we have helped the pharma industry to grow. And I stand to say that the very day you are able to produce a product that meets the total needs of this country, it goes into the import prohibition list. That is, it has to be manufactured in Nigeria. On the issue of pre-qualification, like I said earlier, we had the national drug policy that brought about generics, but didn't put in place the peggings of what generics will do for the country. That is, we didn't take into pre-qualification quality before going into generics. And that is where we are, like I said, here today. However, we are working at addressing this issue through the strategy we are developing, the pharma sector strategy. It's going to nip everything in the bud. I can assure you that when that strategy is approved, by 2030, companies that are not pre-qualified will find it difficult to do business. Because we want to compel everybody to be able to compete internationally. It's not enough for us to beat our chest to say we have 170 pharma industries in Nigeria, and there's no one that can compete outside the shores of this country. So by 2030, the strategy will categorically state that all products in Nigeria might have to go through the BA lab. If it doesn't, then you are out of business.
Okay, so there you go. Thanks. So we have not forgotten our sister Asarati. Asarati consults for the pharma industry, and so has a good appreciation of the pain points that industry has or goes through. So Asarati, can you elaborate on some of the pain points of the pharma industry, particularly the pharma industry in Nigeria?
Thank you. Is this mic working? Yeah. Thank you very much for that question. I will just take a few times to encourage everyone that as a Nigerian, we go through pain points in every area of our lives. But one thing I would like to emphasize when talking about the pharma industry is the resilience and the power of a Nigerian to succeed. I looked at the Indian structure and how they found that there was a time India was in this situation. I did my research many years ago. And they decided as a country that we must move ahead. China was behind them. Everything, the pharma industry was dying in India. And India took a collective decision that they would do something about it. Then they went to the academia and set up a pharma revolution group to look into it. And they were given 6 months to address all the things that we've heard here today. When the professor started, he decided that it was not enough every year. I've worked in the pharma industry for more than almost 30 years now. It's almost like a broken record. The pain is there, we're bleeding. The power sector is there giving us all the headaches. And I'll give you an example. We used to run a factory in Agbara. Whenever we needed to manufacture, we need to switch to gas. Because the quality of power that will come into the factory will blow all our panels. So we needed to go into gas. Then one day, there was a blowing up of pipes in the Niger Delta. We didn't have gas. So I'm just trying to give you certain examples of that. Then we began to face the clinical trial issues as well. And thank God, NAFDAC began to review her guidelines to allow data from other countries. The other thing is finance, and I want to please call this house to say, let us walk the talk for once. I want to say, let us make this meeting a call for action. The PSM president is here. Let us have a standard and a good pharmaceutical roadmap that everybody will stand to. The federal government, the local government, the state government, so that this thing will go. You spend money, you can hear my colleague here, Steve, spend dollars, invest in a factory. Nobody can buy the product. How do you feel? I've been involved in pre-qualification process. I worked in GSK for 23 years or more. So I actually put a file with the WHO, but the product came from India. For you to be able to build a robust dossier, it starts from the beginning. How will the product be developed? The development report, the staff that will do it, the equipment. We run a factory. When I was showing somebody yesterday along Lekki Road, when our Mark IV used to produce our tablets in our factory, when it breaks down and the punches needed to be ground, we will pack them in a box and take them to Ikorodu Road and Betula for them to, to brush it again, for us to run the machine. So I am saying here, the pain is finance, the people, the schools have to develop curricula. If the government, like my sister Bumi has said, is serious and saying that by 2030, every drug manufactured here will be of this standard, then it has to start from university. We have to set up schools that will produce for us machine operators. I'm sure the manufacturers are here. That will produce for us machine operators. You want to recruit a machine operator, you will not find. The skills aren't there. You want to produce somebody to test in the lab, the skills are not there. You've got, and I believe that this program will have a training component. So I don't know where to start. The finance is there. You go to the bank, you get interest rate at one. I believe that if we as Nigerians, we want to do the demand miracle in the pharmaceutical sector, we have to start by collaborating together. Let's take the Indian experience. Let's agree together. I've inspected factories in India. Most of the time I go, I buy my medicines from the locally made ones there, because the inspectors are there every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, making sure that the locally produced one meets global standards. Is NAFDAC financed enough to do that? Are there enough laboratories? Are there machine operators? Are there people, microbiologists, clinical? It's a whole gamut. The whole ecosystem needs to change. And I call this meeting a call for action for the pharmaceutical business in Nigeria. We need to be serious. We need to walk the talk. And the president of the PSN is here. Pack everybody together and say, where do we want to go? Do a full stakeholder mapping. What are the levers we need to pull? If it means going to meet the new president that is coming, let's go and tell him, $1, I want to get some money out. Why would I invest? And then I don't get power, I don't get water, I don't get equipment, I get to the customs, they give me the taxes I can't pay. What are we saying here? Do we mean business? If we do, Mr. Bloom is here, I would like us to raise our hands for call of action and say, as a group, whether you're PNG man, you're NIROFAM, you're NAID, you're Ministry of Health, you're government, you're finance, we all want a government, a country where our local needs will move from 30 to 70%. And then supply the whole of Africa. We are able. Are we ready to do it? I say the call for action has come.
Very much. Nigeria has spoken. So let me turn now. I'm going to give basically some opportunity to the audience, but before I get there, we just want to tie some loose ends. We have basically addressed both the supply side, what are those constraints that will help to ensure that Pharma can achieve these standards, have the capital, they have the both human and financial capital. And we've also talked about the demand side. Now that Pharma gets to that point, how are we going to ensure that there will be patronage of their product so that we don't continue to bring in products? The statistics that you hear, 70% of our products are imported. If you run a pharma company in this country, you realize that there is idle capacity within the pharma industry. This is a disconnect. How can you have high idle capacity, meaning machines are sitting and not making tablets, but yet you are importing majority of your products? There's a problem there. And one of the issues is this perception of quality. Money that could have been spent on your local company is not being spent, instead it's going outside because it is perceived that you can get better quality product. But there's a second factor. The second factor is that you have unfair competition on your market. I heard my sister from the Federal Ministry of Health talk about the sector development, the sector strategy. It sounds like that strategy will have to be edited heavily after listening to Asariti. I don't know what is in it, but I hope that she can take some notes and look at what is in that strategy and see what needs to be updated in the strategy before it is finalized. Because industry is suffering, industry is bleeding, the industry is crying. They are trying to help. The final comment I'll make on that is, I have a consultancy established in Ghana. The list of products banned from importation in Ghana is way greater than that of Nigeria. And I ask why. In Ghana, about 48% of essential drugs are banned from importation into Ghana. In Nigeria, I think on that list is 20-something or 30. Why? I'm sure you can increase that amount. There are many companies in this country, so why is that list still small? I hope that in the sector strategy that will change, because really I think patronage is the bottom. All of these constraints we talk about, whether it's finance, human capital, if you have strong patronage, you generate enough revenue to take care of your finances or bring in expertise. Hire the right people, train them when there is patronage. But without patronage, everything collapses. So please, we are appealing to the federal government, we are appealing to the stakeholders that can influence this process of local procurement to ensure that we do everything to patronize our industry. On that note, let me ask, we need to round up soon. Are there any final thoughts from the panelists before I give 2 minutes to folks in the audience if they have any running questions? Anything that you wanted to say that you did not say you want to do?
want to say that, there's a lot of knowledge in the ecosystem in Nigeria. One thing that has benefited my growth in the industry is belonging to expert committees. Expert committees, people who learn from one another. So I would expect that manufacturers will pull themselves together, not just as PMG men, but within PMG men, have people that have expertise. Like I teach pulling together of dossiers, and I know that within that ecosystem of dossier building, whenever a question, somebody is stuck, they throw a question in, and I can quickly say, put it here, put it there, put it there. And we found out that the success rate of the dossier clearance within NAFDAC is higher within that ecosystem of that expert committee. I thought I should mention that, so that you don't get scared that going to PQ is hard. Just form little groups and learn from one another.
Thank you very much. Any final thoughts from any of the members of the panel?
I think from our side, I will encourage manufacturers, please, anytime you want to PQ, the management will influence that decision. They didn't know it doesn't happen. For instance, for the Bloom, they give you to do your side-by-side file, sit down with the team, everybody has to be involved before you submit. If you are not selected, it doesn't mean you are not good. Just because you need to work a very small time, because it's a very serious business to manage audit. A lot of people. So the Bloom may need to have this, maybe it is select 5 out of 20 or 30 in front. So I would recommend to you, while taking that decision, bring everybody on board. Tell your management, let them know where you're going. And then also tell them, don't blow your man says I'm expecting $1 billion. You're expecting something, but gradually you get to where you're going to do. So that will be manage your expectations. That will also help you in the future.
Thank you, Steve. So I have room for 2 questions from the audience. 2 bronze. So I have one hand, and I have to ask NAFDAC, right? Okay. So NAFDAC will be second. So yes, Madam, you can ask.
Thank you very much. My name is Monica Agu, all protocols observed. I'm glad to be here today. Why? Because I will say qualification. Working with my colleague, Mopa Isuga, when we were in SWIFA, and our MD mandated us that we should pre-qualify our anti-malaria. And I troubled WHO for about 5 years to give us technical support. It was in the training we had in Ghana in 2009 that I sat with the CEO and asked him, why are we not being supported? I told him all we had done, and he said, I will support you. And that was how SWIFA got the technical assistance. Unfortunately, immediately after that, I left SWIFA and moved on to Novartis. But there's one thing I want to say. I'm really surprised that Asaniti didn't mention it. There's a lot of capacity building happening in Africa that Nigeria is missing out. Seriously missing out, especially the industry, and I'm not happy. Purdue University, the Biotechnological Innovation and Regulatory Sciences program is going on. And it's a Nigerian pharmacist, Reverend Sister Zita, a culture that brought it into Africa because she was handling supply chain of a Christian hospital group, and she was not happy that locally made products were not being procured. And she said at FIP she was told Africans cannot make quality products. And over the years, she started looking around where she could get support until she got to Purdue University that is running a program. And she said she came to Nigeria, both the academia, industry, the regulatory authority, and she didn't get support. Because she's in Tanzania, that program is now domiciled in Tanzania. But then there are so many people. Authority is an alumni. MOPA is an alumni. I'm an alumni. I'm adding up. Please, just like we are talking about BE and BABE, I tell you, last March we did a business, the master's program. I finished the master's program. I'm in the PhD program, and 2 Nigerians are already PhD holders from NADAC, in US. They did it at the campus. But now it's done online. Every 2 weeks on site. And they bring experts from the USFDA, Africans, and some African Americans and Indians who are experts. We did BEBA,
what is she asking?
an expert of over 20-something years. She came and they devote their time, they give their time and their knowledge and expertise. And we didn't know that BABE was so simple. We even had hands-on on the software. We don't need software for